Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide. Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
What's a Blerd? That's a black guy who's also a nerd. Reading comics, watching anime. Haven't you heard? It's Jeremy, J, and Miriam talking to Delirium. Naruto, then Marvel, then DC. Are you hearing him? Pop culture reverends pull them out periodically. We sing of movies with the comics canonically, and we watch a lot of TV. It's our virtual reality. I guarantee one day we'll have a TV show on NBC.
Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide. Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
1, 2, 3, testing.
There we go. Yep,
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back, everybody.
Another episode of Blerd Survival Guide. I'm your co-host, Jeremy.
I'm your co-host, Jay.
And this is our new episode of Blerd Survival Guide. Which episode are we on?
Exactly. 15, maybe? 15,
I think
16?
we're on 15. I got to remember, so when we get to episode 20, we can do something
consult
special
with
for
our
everybody.
number one fans, and they can tell us what episode we're on.
Oh,
I trust them before I trust ourselves.
You're right. You're so right. But how you doing today, Jay?
Man, I'm doing well. It's been a long weekend for me, but not a bad weekend. Like, I got to rest a lot. My mom came in town.
Nice.
She stayed with us, and we got to go see the new Fast 9 movie.
Oh, man.
And she enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, which we'll talk about a little bit more later in the show.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a relaxing weekend. How about you?
I've had a busy week.
Bless you.
Amazon, it was Prime Day last Monday and Tuesday. So, of course,
They had you up in that bitch, didn't they?
Yeah, I've been at Amazon since Tuesday of last week. And
what was it, 5 12-hour shifts?
Well, 5 10-hour shifts.
Good. That's not any better. I don't care. What is that?
That's 50 hours. I mean, I still got the overtime and...
God.
Yeah, I know, I'm tired.
Do you get time and a half?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You better get time and a half.
Who you telling? But yeah, today's my first day of freedom from indentured servitude. I would say. But it was I've been busy all week. Took a fat nap /
I know we talked
full
about
slumber
today.
today.
You said that you took a nap after you went and saw Fast 9 today.
I did
right?
go and see Fast 9 today, and yes, I took a great nap. And y'all, I mean, you could have woke me up, but it was okay.
I wanted to let you rest.
I appreciate that.
You know, Miriam and I got to.
Miriam's back in the studio, guys.
Miriam's back in the studio this week. We got to walk around, take my mom back, and run some errands, and we also took a little bit of a slumber as well.
Very nice, very nice.
Just to get ready for tonight's recording session.
Indeed, and
17.
Miriam says, our producer says that this is episode 17, everybody.
we are getting close. We're going to do something special for you guys on episode 20, but we're not going to let you know until we know.
Yeah, we kind of plan these week to week, but at the end of the day, if we can come up with something special, maybe if there's something special that you guys want us to do for the 20th episode,
Maybe
put some of those ideas in our DMs or in our comment boxes.
Be Instagram Live or
Facebook Live.
or you could just actually see us in person.
I record a YouTube video for y'all.
Yeah, so you can see our pretty faces while we discuss all the things of pop culture and whatnot.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, but let us know what you think. Other than that, let's dive into this episode.
What's this week's topic?
So, because we both just recently saw
Fast 9.
F9, the Fast Saga.
Boy, it is a saga. Oh God, it is.
I wanted to talk to you and to you, the listeners, about franchises.
I like this topic of discussion.
It's
we've been watching these movies, like the Fast and Furious
For
movies,
years.
like since 2001.
For
And I think we've been watching them pretty much together since 2008 or 2009.
Well, I met you guys in around 2009, 2010.
And we've been going to see these movies in theaters together pretty much ever since.
Yeah. It's been
a decade of watching this franchise grow and become what it has shifted and morphed into. Because at this point, it is unrecognizable from the original movie.
Did you know the first Fast and Furious movie, their big heist, big grand scheme of everything, an evil drug lord or whoever was stealing DVD players. That was the plot.
It was like
Fast
high-end technology.
Fast
DVD
and Furious
players.
1. It not even high technology. They were just expensive DVD players. Like,
was it not like? Was there at least like a car chip in one of them?
Nope, they were just expensive DVD players.
That's tragic.
That is.
I mean, they were like a low rent drag racing gang. Is basically what they started out as
with an undercover cop,
which is Paul Walker's character, who becomes a vigilante hero, basically by the end of it.
Dude, we've gone from that to having these international super spy # TikTok.
They went to space.
And I mean,
that's not spoiling anything. That's in the trailer.
That was in the trailer.
How you go from heisting
DVD players just going to space.
Going to space.
And
in 8 movies.
Oh my God. Over the span of 20 years, 8 movies. Couple spinoffs.
This franchise is unique in itself because it has done this, and we've been along for the ride for it.
It goes where no movie has gone before.
And we've kind of just watched it and let it happen. That's the thing, right? Like, people just have let this happen. It's not like there wasn't like a space for people to verbally assault these movies for doing this.
No, not at all.
But in fact, they got praised for it because they had, I guess, the right formula for it. But you've got all these other movies that try and go all out with like a $300 million budget, which that is what this movie had. It was a $200
million, and then it made. You said it made like $315 over the first
weekend. Man,
well, not even the first weekend because I mean it's technically
2 days. First 2 days.
First 2 days.
So 24 hours, 48 hours.
I contributed to that additional $315 plus.
Sure, I did too, man. I did too. But I just that to see where this franchise has gone and from where it started, I think it's a rather remarkable series, and people talk trash about these movies, but I love them.
Oh, they are amazing, and to bring on the deals of family with Dom Toretto,
right.
It brought us closer together as a band of brothers. You, me, John, our third roommate, and our close friends from high school. Literally, I remember us like post our graduation with Jay and I graduation.
I think it was like Fast 5 at that point.
Exactly, that's exactly what it was.
Fast 5 is the first time they bring The Rock in.
Boy, and that, like, literally the first thing we see, and it basically, I think this is what solidified us as like like our own family. We were watching this movie, and it's the scene where The Rock is interrogating one of the henchmen for the main villain of Fast 5, and they start fighting. All of a sudden, you see The Rock throw this big ass man into the ceiling. And you see all 5 of us.
Collective response.
All of us hop back and went, damn! You just hear the audience laugh. Like, the audience around us started laughing because
they laughed more at us than the actual.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, like, real deal. Like, I think that collective response just like surmises our love as a group for these movies, because it really is just like a constant damn throughout the entire series. Like, you think that at one point they couldn't go take it to another level.
They couldn't go further,
and then lo and behold, they do.
They go to space.
The episode before, they had a nuclear submarine, and Tyrese's character is sitting here sledding, getting pulled by a snowmobile on a door and surviving the ice cracking while a nuclear submarine comes up from the depths of the ocean and survives. Dude, it's ridiculous. It is like absolutely.
Oh my God.
I mean, Dom. In the new that scene toward the end in the new one, when Dom takes out the jet with that giant 52,000 pound
beast,
truck,
the beast.
I'm just like, this man just scorpion whipped a truck into a friggin' like a unmanned aircraft. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean that may sound like a spoiler to you guys, but like that's barely cracking the surface of what this movie was. And I mean, like I said, this whole franchise just like it got crazier and crazier, and we have one more movie left of the Fast saga.
I don't know how they're going to outdo what they've done so far.
I think Miriam actually pointed it out before we started. It was just like, I think they're gonna actually reveal themselves to be like some superhero type stuff.
Bro,
Like,
I think time travel is the next frontier.
either that or like, it was funny. I did see an article where it's a possibility that it may be a crossover with Jurassic World.
Pause. I have to pause. I'm not allowing this. I mean,
We're gonna have driving and dinosaurs. We're gonna have driving dinosaurs, man.
That sounds like some Hot Wheels RC type shit.
That's exactly what this movie is, though. It's boys playing with Hot Wheels times 50 million
Plus family.
Because when you're here, you're family.
Because when you're here, I mean, like we can talk more about this
We
franchise
really can.
IRL, but
yeah.
For me, this franchise gets a 10 out of 10 because of how crazy
Yes.
it is. What they really like, and the writers know this, right? Like they're well aware.
They've gotten to the point
of the formula.
They've
that
gotten to
been
that point, man.
Exploiting for our entertainment.
That's strictly what it is. But I mean, what other franchises? I mean, like I said, we can go on and on about Fast and Furious, but like there are other franchises out there that I mean we both know and love. Of course, you guys have seen our studio space. I have Marvel all over my walls, and I mean,
that's a
that's a
franchise
full
that you have to mention if you're talking about franchises because they in terms of franchises they changed the game, right?
They really did. I mean, started with in 2008 with Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk. Like that really kicked off the MCU.
And I mean to evolve to where it has today, to having full feature films plus full streaming content, like TV streaming content, and complement to those full feature films.
And it still like makes sense and like all still tie in together to the bigger grand scheme of things.
I don't think I'm being too bold in saying it's never really been done before.
It really hasn't.
To this degree, right? I mean, you have like, let's say like Power Rangers, right? Power Rangers, they have full feature films.
Right.
Like the Mighty Morphin that do feed in to the cartoon series or the TV series, but it's more of like an origin story rather than
like
filler,
like a continuation.
Exactly.
Or something like that.
Yeah. If we're thinking in anime terms, it's kind of like acting as a filler for us until we get to the main season.
Yeah,
the main storyline.
No, I got that. But like with the Marvel, with the MCU, and that franchise, like I said, you had like we thought the biggest thing coming from Marvel from the MCU was the first Avengers, and that was back in 2012. And you see where we're at now, where they had this one of the largest cast ensembles in Endgame. And I mean, like, the only recast that they've really ever done was War Machine.
Right.
From Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle. That's the only
best
recast.
call that they've ever done.
Oh, definitely.
In my opinion.
Definitely.
You know my feelings on Terrence Howard.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's kind of pretentious.
He's not a good person.
He's not, but like I said, the recast. That's the only recast that needed to be done. It was great. Well, other than Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. Because I mean that's the MCU recast because
the previous was Edward Norton's, right?
Yeah, and he wanted to do a whole bunch of rewrites and stuff, and
too hard to work with.
Yeah, and that's the same deal with Terrence Howard. He was too hard to work with. He wanted the same, but he wanted the same price point as Tony Stark
as Robert Downey Jr.
Thank you.
LOL.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, Terrence, you can sit down. You're not as relevant. I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
War Machine becomes more relevant and becomes a pivotal character.
Yeah, it just had to take time. He was impatient. That's one of the big things.
I mean, in Iron Man 2, let him. I mean, he had his role because Don Cheadle made his moment.
Exactly.
He made his moment.
Like it's still funny when you see that meme of like. Of Terrence Howard when he looks at the silver suit, it's just like, next time, baby. 12 years ago.
Dude, like it cracks me up every time because it also makes me happy that he's not a part of the MCU,
right?
Outside of that one movie,
right?
But also because it is hilarious, and you real deal thought at the end of Iron Man that Terrence Howard was going to come back as War Machine and take over and be able to do the thing.
But then the next movie, when you see like the whole jury section where like where Tony's being judged by like the senators and everything, and it's like here's Colonel James Rhodes, and like you see. Shorter, darker skinned man with black hair. Like who's this man? And like turn around, it's Don Cheadle. Like wait a minute,
that's Rhodey now. All right,
and I mean literally, and that's the funny thing that they actually kind of referenced that. Like the writers referenced it in Iron Man 2.
Yeah,
he said It's me. I'm here. Deal with it. That was basically Ryder saying, it's me. It's Don Cheadle. He's here. Deal with it. Basically telling you.
Yes, we're aware that we changed him, but
exactly.
But this is it.
Exactly.
You getting what you paid for now.
And, like that's probably one of my favorite quotes from Iron Man 2, because like basically the writer's saying, "Hey, we recast him. Deal with it." And that's also
we
like,
don't need any extra questions after
and
that.
Rhodey being the same way towards Tony. It's just like, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it. Like,
Exactly.
That's all you need to know. Done. But I mean, like I said, that's another franchise that literally it's probably going to go on and on. I mean, it's already been,
and like, it's groundbreaking, right? It's been groundbreaking. But you know what?
It's going to continue to be groundbreaking.
You know what's frustrating to me though? Yeah. When you have a great franchise and there's a movie for the franchise, and it has nothing to do with the plot post movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, Pokemon. Right. Okay. So there's like so many Pokemon, and there's so many Pokemon movies. Like the Pokemon 2000.
You got Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon 2000.
Pokemon like Mewtwo Returns. Like all of these movies, and they are never again referenced in the show. I'm always so frustrated when Ash is beat, or like he's the chosen one, or he's beat the hardest like Pokemon master in the world that's also a Pokemon, and then you come back to the show and he is still getting scrubbed by these basic
random
level
gym leaders,
or like the basic level trainers that are around the community or around the region that he's hunting Pokemon in.
And I mean, there's no possible way that these gym leaders and these like random ass people are like
have faced the level of Pokemon or seen the level of Pokemon that he has.
Because I mean, if we gotta be honest, for Ash to be a 10-year-old, he done seen some shit.
I'm saying. I mean, bro, like he has traveled the world and like gone far beyond any other 10-year-old's dream of exploration ever. And I mean, like, they never pick up on that experience, and they always have him like a challenge that is, in my opinion, beneath the level of experience that he has. Like, he is overqualified for this challenge.
Truly is. And I mean, the only thing they reference is that like his particular Pikachu is the most powerful Pikachu in all of Pikachu's, and
they really and they say it like one time, like an earlier season, but it's never again referenced.
No,
it's never again like important. Like, why can't he break out Pikachu and freaking pwn some people and then be gone with the day? But no, Ash is like gotta, I don't know, hone these like weaker Pokemon.
Has to be a learning experience and whatnot, quote unquote. Yeah.
Well, and which is interesting because that kind of like breaks the formula for anime, right?
Because no, that's what I was thinking. It was like because we had like while you were discussing like Pokemon and all the different iterations of Pokemon. You got XY, Pokemon 2000,
Black, white, gold, silver, red,
all of the above.
The original,
right? But I mean, like you said, you have the franchises like Naruto. I mean.
Exactly.
I mean, Naruto is a franchise brand on its own. Like you have Naruto Shippuden, you have the movies that actually coincide with the show, and it actually continues what's going on. Mm-hmm. But then you also have Boruto now.
Yep.
And it's called Boruto Naruto Next Generation, which is still continues with stories of adult Naruto and gang, but also has the problems of Boruto and gang.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's
like fantastic. Now that's a fantastic franchise,
right?
You know, that's
because it works.
That's my favorite.
I love Naruto. I love Boruto. I'm so happy that you introduced me to that and made it like literally.
Like
that's probably one of the first
kind of situations.
Right, one of the first true anime that like I've watched all the way through, like Naruto and Shippuden, and I'm finally catching up. I've gotten to some good points in Boruto, like it's strictly on sub, and I'm just like ooh, like I'm like literally on my off days this week. I just gotta have like a do not disturb on my phone, like just watch 2 hours of Naruto a day, and I mean Boruto a day, and like get through it. Like that's how good it's gotten.
Like,
but like
you're,
I said,
you're
that
committed.
Right, and that franchise as a whole has it gets better because they're able to connect those stories, have these movies that coincide with the actual storyline, and it works.
And they bring it back together, right? Like they bring it back together for the TV show, unlike Pokemon, which is so frustrating. And I just don't.
And I think because probably Pokemon has probably gotten too Americanized.
I think that might be
more episodic. And
it might be
really
it.
Linear.
Like it might be more popular in America than in other countries, which I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked into these facts, but like at the same time,
these are definitely just Blerd Survival Guide guesstimates, guys. We
I mean, if that's the case, then that's a shame because honestly, I think they're missing out on an opportunity here to like really reshape the Pokemon franchise. Maybe I don't know. Like,
I mean, they have changed the animation.
Granted, oh God, so many times. How many times can you change a an animation style before it is different from the original.
I mean, no. Have you seen the most recent one?
Yeah,
like
I have.
The rounded anime kind of deal instead of the
it's more 3D, right?
Kind of. Like I said, it's that newer. It's almost like a kid friendly Pokemon, even though Pokemon's already kid friendly. It's more like more kid friendly. Like you know how you see like kid friendly things and it's just all rounded and hoppy and bubbly kind of.
It kind of feels like you can't get cut on it.
Yeah.
I hear exactly.
Like you remember how Ash's hair was spiky and like actual spikes in it? Yeah, it's more like
it's softer now.
Yeah. That's kind of how it looks now. And this is Pikachu still looks the same oddly, but like the humans are kind of.
I'm probably gonna avoid watching this.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Like this is like strictly like.
This is just like you've seen in passing.
Yeah,
right,
strictly in passing. It's just like, huh. Weird how he looks like that. And I mean,
so like what this tells to me is that a franchise has the potential to go, if for the longer it goes, the better it can get, or the longer it goes, the worse it can get. And I think that we've highlighted two, very different but also very like large franchises that have, as they've gone along, gotten better and gotten worse.
Right.
I'm wondering now, what are some of your favorite franchises that we haven't necessarily gotten a chance to mention just yet?
I guess one in particular that I would like to talk about shortly would be the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Classic.
And although it's
a movie franchise.
It is
it's not so much.
It's a book franchise and a movie franchise.
It's a book and a movie franchise. Sorry, J.K. Rowling.
She canceled.
Sorry,
Daniel Radcliffe. He's the new author. I remember a lot of people like as soon as J.K. said those things, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna make Daniel Radcliffe the official author." Like,
what? Hold up, what?
Well, not like the publishers of the books.
Yeah,
but like when J.K. Rowling said those things
about trans kids. Yeah,
right, and basically got canceled.
Yeah,
a lot of people on the internet, they were just like, yeah, you know what, we're just gonna make Daniel Radcliffe the author, quote unquote. Like they're gonna claim him as the author because he refuted what J.K. Rowling was saying, and it was just like, yeah, I'm. Even though I was Harry Potter, I'm a diehard fan of these books,
and I'm an ally.
Right,
I'm an ally as opposed to J.K. Rowling.
Exactly. So they're just like
espousing some nonsense like that I don't feel like I have to repeat, but all the same, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is the people's author of the
author of the Harry Potter books.
Yeah,
that's fascinating. I mean, but yeah, you keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. No, like I said, that franchise as a whole, same thing along the lines of like the Fast and Furious franchise. It just ended earlier because we finished the books.
Right.
But like we grew up with it. We grew up with Harry and
Hermione and Ron, like Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, like watch them growing up on screen.
And literally, it's us aging with them, and it was interesting to see that. Just like, wow, we're like, we get to see all these fantastical things, and it branched out into just these amazing movies, and hopefully,
I mean, now we go to Universal, and you can go to the wonderful Wizarding World of Harry Potter, right? Like, I mean, it's such a immersive environment, and I mean, it's literally the dream for everybody that has
experienced those movies, experienced those books,
right? Like, you get to go live in it.
Like true Potterheads get to like go see that.
I mean, you have websites that are dedicated to a Pottermore, so you can get sorted into a house. You can learn your
What's your house, Jay?
I am a Gryffindor without a doubt, like through and through a Gryffindor, and I think my Patronus is the stag.
Oh, I forgot what my Patronus was.
I'm pretty sure my Patronus is the stag.
Okay, I'm Hufflepuff.
You're a Hufflepuff? That's scans.
Hufflepuff.
That's scans. I wonder what people. I want people to let us know what their houses are. Miriam, what's your house?
Hey, we got 3 different houses in the house.
In one room, man.
Wow. Look at us.
We're a diverse group of Potterheads.
Yeah. But that was probably one of my favorite franchises that we hadn't discussed on the episode yet. What about you, Jay? What's one of yours?
We've discussed like a couple of my favorite, like with Naruto and like
Fast and Furious,
but I think the other franchise I'd like to talk about at this point would be Dragon Ball Z, because that's a franchise that I grew up with. It's a franchise that began in the 80s. I mean, it began with Dragon Ball, and then you had Dragon Ball Z, and then you had Dragon Ball GT that was like not considered canon, and then you had all the movies. You had the Fighting Brawly, like the new movie where he fought Gold Frieza, and then like you had
Lord have mercy.
I mean, and then you had a whole other movie series like then you have Dragon Ball Super, which is following GT, that's now canon. And I mean, like, the fact that this show has gone through like 2 creators and managed to still continue to come out with a manga and come out with an anime, it's astounding, because God, like, Goku has faced so many different people, and he just reaches a barrier, overcomes the barrier, reaches another ceiling, bursts through that ceiling, and that's just the formula for Dragon Ball franchise as a whole, and it's endlessly entertaining, but also just at this point, you don't even have to watch the show because you know what's going to happen by the end of it. It's like Goku's not going to die anymore.
No,
it's just like, what's the next level?
Yeah, he's just going to keep leveling up. Yeah,
which is kind of the thing about watching anime in general. Like, people watch anime and you kind of get nervous for the main protagonist, but then if you remember that the name of the main character may be the name of the show, you remember, okay, they're probably not gonna die anymore.
Right.
Like, they're not gonna they're not gonna lose in the end, right?
This is the main character. Like, you can't kill him.
You're watching Naruto and like you're starting to freak out a little bit. He's facing like these hard challenges, and you're like, wait.
The name of
he's the main. He's not gonna die. Okay.
Like, who else is gonna be the main character? Shippuden?
Right.
Who is Shippuden? Exactly.
The third Hokage. That's who it is.
Oh my God.
The one who threw Naruto in an apartment for 16 years and told him to survive on his own. Basically,
hey bro, you got this.
You got this.
I'm a child, sir. I don't have this.
He drops off cup of ramen every other day.
Ooh. We can go on and on about this conversation. What we're going to do now, though, is take a quick break. You're going to hear a word from our sponsor, Anchor, and we will be right back with the weekly blurb. And see you in a second, guys. Because we stand a bisexual queen, don't we?
We sure do stand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. You know what time it is. It's time for the
weekly blurb.
We're going to do something a little different this time around. We're going to have a joint weekly blurb because we're about to nerd out on 2 shows that we both have recently watched and are recently very much enjoying. First up is
Demon Slayer,
hey,
which has a movie out, and anybody that's watched Demon Slayer should definitely check out the movie. We're going to go check it out hopefully sometime this week or next week, because it is in the theater and it is the only place that you can watch it.
Mugen Train. But yeah, no, Jay, you are our anime expert in the studio. What are your first thoughts, reactions? How are you loving Demon Slayer? I know you had a big rant about it last week, but now that I've seen it, and now that Miriam, have you seen all of it as well? Yeah, so now that we've all seen it in this room and John is currently watching it, what?
Man, that show is just so groundbreaking, from the pacing to the character development to the challenges that they overcome.
But it's just such a great show,
and the overall lack of filler. I mean, the show I'm so happy that you finally watched it, because like I was sitting here like hyping this show up and you weren't watching it, and I'm like, Jeremy, you have to watch it, and I'm feeling like I'm talking to a brick wall, going crazy, because I'm like, this show, it takes everything you hate about anime and removes it.
Yeah, no, literally, there were, like Jay said last week, there was no filler. It was straight through. It was 26 episodes of all action, all the time. Great story, heart, drama,
right,
etc.
I mean, like, you love the heart, you love the drama, you love the fighting, and you hate the filler. You hate the times that like it's unnecessary backstory that you're just like, this is never going to associate with the main plot line ever again.
Right, no, like that's literally, and kind of going back to what we were talking about with Naruto and Boruto, I'm at a point where I just saw like 3-episode Cho-Cho arc where where they're guarding the movie star.
Oh yeah,
and she was fat shamed, and that hurt me. I was emotionally hurt, but it was good.
It was messed up. It was messed up.
We're just seeing other.
It's giving you the heart in the filler, but like in Demon Slayer, you're getting the heart in the main story, and you're sitting here like, okay, you fall in love with the main character because you are getting to witness their like OP prowess, like the overpoweredness that they have,
right.
But also like the overpowered heart that is present within Tanjiro for Nezuko and for the Demon Slayer core as a whole.
Man,
the show
it's powerful.
I mean, it is.
It's
it really
powerful.
is. Like you see a brother who is willing to sacrifice anything to save his sister from this like terrible curse,
right?
And you see like what he's willing to go through and who he's able to bring up along with him, because he does bring up Inosuke and Kimetsu, I think.
Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah.
Kimetsu. He does bring them up along with him by not necessarily just like encouraging them, but which he does, but he also leads by example.
Right.
And like he's getting up every day at the end of the series, at the end of season 1, going to rehab, like pushing through, and then
like total concentration,
constant, like trying to do all that, and by the end of it, they're like, well, I guess we got to get better and stronger too. And by the way, this is all in one episode,
right,
that they decide to buckle down and get with the training program and finally catch up to Tanjiro. And where in a previous anime, that may have been like 5 or 6 episodes, maybe 10.
Oh yeah, and that's literally just them training. Literally those 5 or 6 episodes.
But it's in one.
Yeah.
It's in one episode. You literally get a year and a half in one episode.
Oh yeah, the whole train, man.
When he does the initial training.
So he can
go to the Demon Slayer core, like the final selection.
Yeah. Man,
it's
great.
It really is, and I encourage anybody that like is tentative toward anime to watch this one, because like not only is it the storyline that is everyone wants from an anime, but the animation is out of this freaking world.
Oh,
it is gorgeous.
And the way that they are able to utilize CGI and traditional animation within the anime, it's flawless.
It's seamless.
It's flawless.
And like it sets a tone.
It looks good.
Man, it sets a tone, and it sets a vibe whenever like there's a new scene that is so different from watching many other classic animes.
I love how they treat it as if you're reading a manga too, because it's like each scene when they come back from commercial, quote unquote, is like a new chapter in the manga, and it's
right.
You see them started off and like they have the picture set up for each chapter, and, and like I said, it just goes through it, and it's. Tanjiro is funny, but he also has heart. He does everything with good intentions, with great intentions.
Honor, though, like the level of honor that is present within Tanjiro, for like in every task that he goes through.
That just comes from good upbringing.
And like he just brings it back home. He brings it back to like a humbling experience every single time. It's like when he's having these struggles when he is in rehab, and he brings it back to his original training. You just know that he's able to like really recenter himself.
Oh yeah.
And then rebuild from there, man, which is like a lesson that I think a lot of us forget when we're trying to improve ourselves. Bring it back to basics. Bring it back to basics and make it add the one thing that you need to do in order to improve from the basics, so you're not just starting from ground zero specifically.
You're starting from ground one.
You're able to. I think it's like you're starting from ground 1B.
Yeah,
you know, like instead
and you just go up, and you're just going up from there.
You're starting a whole other project,
right? And we can go on and on.
I really could go on a rant for forever, but
we're definitely gonna go. We're gonna go see this movie, prayerfully within the next 3 days. 4 days.
I mean, I really want to, and I hope that maybe we could get some people to come with us.
Yeah. We would love to have some of our listeners come watch this movie with us, and I'll be excited and have a great time.
We can do a Blerd Tribe God a meet and greet.
Yeah. And now let's switch it over from traditional anime to some Marvel anime, if I want to be so bold to say. Loki, episode 3.
Boy, what a cliffhanger! What a cliffhanger!
What a cliffhanger, guys! Oh my god, wow.
Easily one of the
Wow.
easily the biggest cliffhanger I think we've been exposed to
Since Infinity War.
since Infinity War.
Yeah.
Since Infinity War, because like you don't know what's about to happen.
No,
Like
literally.
as far as you know, they're stuck.
And of course, as I say every week, because this show comes out on Wednesdays instead of Fridays, you have had ample time to watch it. This episode of Blerd's Popcorn comes out every Tuesday, so the new episode 4, will be coming out the next day. You have ample time. Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers.
The
Ahead,
momentous
yes.
one, Moon, that they were on, that Loki and Sylvie, as she is now confirmed herself to be, they are trapped on Lamentus One. This is Moon in the future, and by the end of the episode, they're trying to get to this arc so they can rebuild and recharge their time pad. Yeah, their time pad, and the moon blows up, and the arc blows up.
And the thing is, like leading up to it, Loki's like, "Why don't we just make sure that it gets off?" And they're trying to do
They're
it.
just like, why don't we just steal the arc? Literally, that's
Like,
that was their
we'll
goal.
use that to get away, and then it just blows up in their face, literally. And you're just like, well, shit, what's next?
And literally, and that's exactly what Sylvie thought when she was walking away. Loki's just like, well, damn.
I'm really excited to watch this new episode, but what was your favorite part in the first 3 episodes that you've gotten the experience so far?
So, of course, first episode, I think my favorite part was him being processed into the TVA.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, that's, and I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but like the first thing, like, this is the very first time that we've seen Loki / Tom Hiddleston as Loki without clothes in the MCU. Literally, you've seen every other hero and male figure in the MCU.
And like regular street clothes, yeah.
Not just regular street clothes, but just like without a shirt. Like you've seen Tony Stark without a shirt. You've seen Chris Hemsworth without a shirt. You've seen Chris Evans without a shirt. You've seen all of them without shirts. But this is the first time you've seen Loki. Loki's been fully clothed this entire time.
Fascinating.
This is the first time that we've seen him without clothes. And I mean,
fun fact.
My dude is ripped. Like he looks skinny with
he in shape though.
He
fit
with the Asgardian the finest Guardian leather that he claims it to be. When it gets ripped off and like you just see that body, it's like, oh, okay. All right, Loki, I see
fit.
you.
Hey man.
Episode 2, I think I love the conversation that he has with Mobius in regards to like finding out that you can be hidden in an apocalypse and not worry about any time variances.
That's cool.
You can see
That's cool.
the joy in his face knowing that he was right, and also the joy because
he's helpful.
Yeah, he was able to help.
Loki is always striving to be helpful.
Right. And then episode 3, I think my favorite part was, and these last 2 episodes, it was both just the conversational pieces that Loki has had with other characters. It's like I said, Loki with Mobius in episode 2. This one was Loki and Sylvie when they're on the train, and they were basically just discussing how they were similar to each other.
Yeah.
And this is also where we find out that Loki is bisexual and so is Sylvie.
Right.
And that kind of coincides with Pride Month, and we're awesome. It was just awesome to see. And
so I saw a post and it was like Loki is canonically bisexual, right? Like in that, and that's
in the comics. I mean, he's like I said, he's able to shapeshift, but he doesn't necessarily have to if he doesn't want to.
It just for me. Bringing it back to anime as always, as I do, brings me back to Orochimaru, right? Like it brings me back to the parent in Boruto at this point that
I found this off
has
too,
good, who has lived as both male and female, so just call me parent,
right?
And I'm like, that's beautiful, truly,
and
really
literally,
is.
I mean, Orochimaru is telling Mitsuki, it's like it doesn't matter physical appearances as long as your true essence is on the inside of who you are.
Right.
I'm
so happy you watched that
I'm
episode.
like,
it's fresher in your mind. I love that.
Oh, tears. But yeah, no. In regards to Loki, like we said, like he does confirm that he's bisexual. He's been in a few romances with princesses, but also with princes. So has Sylvie, but then also his for him to be an Asgardian guard, or Frost Giant, whatever you want to call it, because they both know they're adopted.
Right.
He also is saying that him getting drunk, that was hilarious, because
that was how he copes.
Yeah, that's how he copes.
And rests, as he
says.
said.
Sylvie, she rests by literally resting,
by taking a nap.
Yeah. But like you see it's fun to see the comparisons, because technically you are watching one Loki twice.
Right.
One's just a man, one is just a woman from
Right.
two different universes.
Right.
And it's just interesting to see like the similarities between these two.
Man, when I realized that Loki's parents never told him that he was adopted, versus Sylvie's parents who immediately told her that she was adopted.
Yeah,
that just like hit me in the feels, because I'm sitting here like that is probably one of the more powerful moments that shaped Loki's character at any given time in either universe. You know,
because he's thinking he's bred and born to be royalty and going
the
to
whole
be the
time.
next king of Asgard.
And it's a bit humbling for Sylvie, I guess, earlier in her life, who realized that she's not Asgardian by blood.
And she's able to just grasp the concept of I'm going to be different my whole life.
I'm going to be different.
And unfortunately, I mean,
and she seems to have settled more comfortably.
She has,
in
but
her
also
difference.
like I think then her mom died. Her mom
early.
Her mom died early.
Mm-hmm. Her mom died. She said she didn't know her mom.
Yeah, so she had to teach herself the magic that she currently has within.
Which is so freaking different from Loki, who had a mother to teach her.
Yeah, who had Frigga to teach him everything that he knows. Yeah. I'm ready for next week's episode. I think my prediction for next week's episode is that the TVA is going to pop up and save them. I think Mobius there has to be a tracker on Loki somehow, some way, at least the Loki that we're speaking of, the 2012 variant. Yeah, there has to be. It's either in like the necktie or like something on his person.
And the jacket, maybe.
Well, because he took the jacket off, so I mean, if it is on the jacket, then they're going to pop up in the random part of Lamentus 1.
But they'll at least know that he's on Lamentus 1.
Right, but hopefully, and like I said, this is my prediction, TVA, Mobius. I think it's probably going to be Mobius.
As Rick says in the new episode, he's going to come in and Deus Ex Machina this bitch.
Basically. And like I said, I think it's going to go from there, and then hopefully we see other, like, I want to start seeing some more multiversal Lokis. I'm ready to see like President Loki. I still want to see that Lance Armstrong Loki. If it's real.
I'm excited to see like them because the TVA is still dealing with these branching universes, right? Like that's still happening all the while they are on Lamentus 1.
Right, and then one of the biggest things is that literally that we find out that Sylvie says is that these are real memories from real people, and that was at the beginning of the episode when she was trying to get the information out of the time cop.
Bro, that spawned so many freaking questions for me.
It's like, are all the members of the TVA actual people? Or were they actually born in the TVA?
Are they variants that have been employed by the TVA or enslaved by the TVA?
Right, because like I said, like I told you before we started the podcast today, I'm thinking Mobius was probably like a jet ski. Either an instructor or like a jet ski salesman.
Just an aficionado in the late 90s or the early 80s.
Right, because of how much he loves those jet skis. Like, he wants to stick with them. And like he has this fascination of them.
Right.
So it's like, where did this fascination come from? You didn't just like randomly pop up in 1990 whatever. Right.
And I mean, he explains it a little bit in the second episode, right? He's like, there was this amazing moment in the mid 90s between when form and function
were at its peak.
And they call it's in the form of a jet ski. And I'm like, dude, I mean, it just makes more sense for him to have more of a backstory as to why that jet ski is his like fixation.
Right. But I mean, we can go on and on.
As always.
Remember, you can, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding Loki and or Demon Slayer, let us know in the comments on our social media outlets, platforms. You can also follow us on all of our social media platforms at Blerd Survival Guide on Instagram, at
Blerd Guide on Twitter.
Thank you, Jay. Blerd Survival Guide on Facebook, and you can even email us at blerdsurvivalguide@gmail.com, or you can follow our personals at JerryBear3295.
At JDub0283.
And it's just MRM. She's in the background filming us because we're some sexy men. But other than that, keep surviving, everybody.
Keep surviving, everybody.
And listen to the theme song.
Two guys in a mic with our producer. Step into the spotlight, survivalist troopers. Come and take a seat with the combo we provide every Tuesday. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.